What in the hell is going on with the world? This is a question that I know that I've been asking myself for the past couple of years, but I know for a fact that a lot of other people have been asking themselves the same question as well. And I don't know if anybody else can relate, but things have felt really off and not the same since the pandemic happened. It feels like, for one, time has sped up, and number two, it feels like the world has just been in chaos ever since the pandemic happened. And it seems like things are irreversible at this point. And I want to mention something. I'm not a nihilist, and I don't try to be a pessimist, although it may sound like it, but I don't try to be. I don't consider myself a pessimist, and I definitely don't consider myself a nihilist. But what I do consider myself to be is a realist and someone who looks at the circumstances and events happening around the world, and especially in our country, the United States, for what they are, not what I want them to be. At least from what I think, and looking at this from my own lens, my own realistic lens that I try to look at things from, is that the chaos that's happening around the world right now doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon, and that is really scary for someone. Well, it's scary for everybody. At the time of me making this video, I can't even believe it. I don't know what the date is. It's January 9th, 2025. The new year just begun, and lo and behold, we have a wildfire, a most destructive wildfire in the history of Los Angeles, from what I read, happening right now. And it's already torn through many, many, many acres. Many people have lost their homes. Many people have lost a part of their lives, and some people, unfortunately, have already lost their lives. And from what I just watched recently in the news before making this video, is that there's not a clarified amount or set amount as to how many lives have been lost. Or no, not a set amount, so that's the wrong word to use, but not a identified amount to how many lives have been lost. That's scary. That's scary. And as someone who's a California native, living pretty close to Los Angeles, my heart weeps for the people who have lost their homes and have lost essentially their lives. I also want to preface by saying this: whatever I say next after this is not intended to be political in any way. So for anybody that comes across this video, if I give you the impression that I'm trying to be political and I'm trying to sway you towards my side of political beliefs, please do not take it that way. That is not what I am trying to do. What I'm trying to do is simply just to present the facts the way that I see them, which is me trying to look at the world for what it is, not what I want it to be. And it may be harsh, it may be truth, it may be harsh, and it may be, I was gonna say truth for some reason. It may be harsh, right? But just do your own research. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give towards what I'm about to say right now. When I watched the news before making this video, I had originally planned to make another video. I didn't even want to make a video like this because a video like this it's pretty hard to make. It's pretty negative, and it can kind of disturb a lot of people, and it can cause a lot of animosity, I guess, because of so many different beliefs and so many different viewpoints as to what it is I'm talking about. But I have to make it because, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see a lot of videos like this on YouTube, especially from people my age, being 20, about to turn 21 in February, who aren't realistic about the way the world is. And I think a lot of young people like myself try to live in their own bubble and try to live in their own bubble of blissful ignorance. And while that may seem appealing, delightful, and enticing, and right to many people, the people who do that aren't the ones who end up changing the world. And I'm not saying I'm going to change the world through this one video, but what I'm saying is that I believe that we all have a moral obligation to do our best in life, right? And to try to help others in any way, shape, or form. And if this video can help anybody, as silly as it may sound, just a video helping people out, but if it can help people out by just giving them another perspective, another lens of perspective to look at the world events happening today from, that's all that matters. Before I turned on this video or clicked record on my phone to record this video, I was watching the news, and apparently the mayor of Los Angeles received warning 2 days prior, I think, before the wildfires started and happened, that there was a high risk of wildfires happening because of the high gust of winds, the Santa Ana winds. And apparently, when the wildfires happened, she was away in Ghana for a wedding or for a celebration of some sort. And now she's come back, she's unable to answer questions and face backlash of questions that to hold her accountable. And apparently the Los Angeles natives didn't have water too, didn't have access to water. I think the fire department didn't have access to water as well, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but there was just no water access. So why am I saying these things to you guys? I'm saying these things to you guys because I think we can all agree that right now we're living through a time of political divide within our country right now. Are we the most politically divided we've ever been? No. I mean, back then with segregation and the Vietnam War and the Civil War, I mean, those things take the cake for sure. But we are definitely living through a politically divided time right now within the U.S. specifically. Right now, the U.S. is politically tense right now. And it's been tense, I would say, more and more tense since the election happened. And I'm saying all these things because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what to believe in anymore. When I turn on the news, right, and I hear about all these things from these governors, these politicians, these people in power who fail to do their job, and then once they're asked questions in order to be held accountable, right, for their mistakes, and them not being able to answer the questions, and them constantly trying to change the topic or trying to change the subject and just giving a bland answer and not giving the American people answers, I don't know what to believe in anymore. I know for a fact that I'm not the only 20-year-old who feels this way. There's a lot of people my age who are afraid to speak on politics because they're scared of receiving the possibility of backlash from their peers, from the university that they attend, from their colleagues wherever they work, or from their family even. And the truth is that that's just completely sad because we're living in a society today where people have completely forgotten about the significance of free speech and speaking your mind. I don't know what to believe in anymore. I look at the chaos happening around the world today, and I'm speaking, whatever I say next is me speaking as a follower of Christ. I believe that I'm not saying the world's going to end tomorrow. I'm not saying the world's going to end next year, the year after that, or whenever. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Nobody knows that. As a follower of Christ, I believe that we're being judged right now. This video is not for me to try to convince people to try to impose my Christian beliefs on anybody else, but this video is for me to just say that I think we can all agree that there's something deeply sinister going on in the world today that just can't be explained. There's something going on behind the scenes that is more than meets the eye. I think we all feel it. We all feel it on a very personal and intimate level. And I know for a fact that I'm not the only one that feels this way. Regardless of whether or not you're an atheist, an agnostic, or a believer, or whatever religion you associate yourself with, I think we can all agree that we're living in a very, very strange world, and we're living through very, very, very strange times right now. And I just wanted to make this video to encourage people to please, please, please don't believe everything you see. I'm not saying don't believe in the wildfires happening, because the wildfires are very real. What I'm trying to say is that whatever information gets presented to you, do your own research. Don't take everything at face value. Don't accept everything. Do your own research. We're living in a time and day and age where people have forgotten the power of individual thought, of thinking for yourself, right? And listen, what I'm saying isn't by any means genius in any way or captivating, right? What I'm saying is common sense. These things have been said time and time again, but because we're living in a world that lacks common sense, anything that is said is regarded as genius. Everything. That's what the whole self-improvement community and niche and these self-improvement content creators, that's the impression that they give their viewers. We have self-improvement content creators who are overcomplicating self-improvement, the practice of self-improvement, to profit. We have people making courses teaching people how to network and master their sleep and this and that, right? But when you really think about it, self-improvement isn't that complicated at all. Why am I saying these things? Because I want you guys to learn how to think for yourselves. Don't believe everything you see. Always, always, always do your own research. Before my dad passed, my dad had a saying. He had two sayings. I'm going to go into them. The first one that applies to what it is I'm talking about right now is trust but verify. That's a saying that my sister and I, a motto that my sister and I live by to this day now that he's gone. And we've always lived by that, especially my sister. She always reminds me that whenever I read up on anything in the news or hear about anything happening in the world, she always tells me to trust but verify. That's something that I would highly recommend you guys to live by, is to always trust but verify, right? And to not believe everything you see on the news. And spoiler alert, most things you see on social media and the news is complete bullshit, if we're being completely honest here. And I'm not oblivious to this. And I'm saying this as a 20-year-old. As a 20-year-old, and like most other 20-year-olds who are very, very naive and ignorant into thinking that the world revolves around them, and naive and ignorant into thinking that everything that they see is true and hear about is true. And that's just not the case at all. And I would highly recommend people out there in the world, to anybody who may or may not come across this video, to do your own research. The second thing that my dad always told me to do, not always told me to do, but a motto to live by, is there is no tomorrow. Tomorrow will never come, right? And I believe that was a quote from Rocky as well, actually, when Apollo Creed is training with Rocky. And he yells at him saying, there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. Get that out of your head and this and that. And that is something that my dad ingrained in my sister and I. And it feels like time has gone by since 2020. Time has been sped up significantly, which is why I want to say that there is no tomorrow. There never has been any time, right? I think from a young age, we're sold the lie as young individuals that you have all the time in the world. We hear it when we're young. We hear that from older individuals who always tell us you have all the time in the world. You'll figure it out eventually. You have all the time in the world. You'll figure it out eventually. Pick it back up tomorrow. Just rest. Just rest. Don't stress yourself out too much. Just rest. You'll figure it out. Take it from someone who just lost their dad recently to cancer last May in 2024. You have no time. It's the biggest lie we've been sold as young individuals. You have no time. And I'm not saying this to stress you out. I'm not saying this to make you panic and go into a mode of significant overthinking by any means. It's not what I'm saying. And I'm not saying this with the perspective of you not being able to enjoy your lives and to just rest. It's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is be very intentional and prioritize what really matters. For me, that's family. For me, that's investment into oneself and self-improvement and reading books. To you, it may be sports. It may be family as well. It may be cooking. It could be whatever, right? But be very intentional with your time. And that is the core essence of self-improvement. I guess, how does this relate with what is happening in the world today? As I've addressed in the beginning of the video, what the F is happening in the world today? We live in a world today where we just don't know I don't know what to believe in anymore. I don't know what to believe in anymore. And you think you can go online and trust what the news media outlets and mainstream media are sharing with you. You think that the news has got your back and they've got your best interests in mind. You think that even your friends have your best interests in mind. You think that those people you follow on social media have your best interests in mind. But that's not always the case, especially in the world we live in today. People would rather choose to profit off of the pain of other people than to actually be a helping hand. Which is why I want to say that don't believe everything you see. Trust but verify. And to also recognize that your time is limited and that there is no time. You can't say there's any time if you don't even know if you'll be alive tomorrow. That's a logic fail. You don't know. Live every day like it's your last. Live in honor, right? Live with intentionality and prioritize what really matters. That is how you take control of your life, and that is the core essence of self-improvement. These self-improvement YouTubers complicate self-improvement and spout all this bullshit, right? Self-improvement is not complicated, and this is a video I'll make and I'll go deeper into. But self-improvement is not complicated. Prioritize your time and live with intentionality. After you do that, you'll take control of your life, and your life will improve, and your quality of life will improve, and your perception of yourself will improve as well. There's no core theme to this video, just, I guess, me kind of doing a diary entry and just talking in front of the camera and just being honest, right? Because I know for a fact that we're all thinking the same thing. All of us, I really don't believe to a certain extent that there really is individuality. I think we're all a lot more alike than we can possibly imagine. And I know for a fact that I'm not the only one who thinks the same things and the same ideas that I've outlined in this video. What the fuck is going on with the world? Excuse my language, but that is a big question that I'm asking myself, and I think I won't stop asking myself anytime soon. Guys, listen, the world is a crazy, crazy place right now. The year just begun, new year just begun. We already have a wildfire. We already have chaos happening in California. There's still chaos happening around the world with these wars and these rumors of wars and rumors of invasions and terrorist attacks. The world is a crazy place right now, and things have not felt the same since prior to 2020, prior to the pandemic. All we can do is, speaking as a follower of Christ, pray to God, pray for his forgiveness, and just ask him to give us the strength that we need to keep on putting one foot in front of the other every day, and pray that he has mercy on all of us. And even if you're not a believer in God, I hope that, you have strong faith in something to support your well-being and to uplift you every day and to give you the strength that you need to keep on putting one foot in front of the other every day, as I do, as I have the strength to do because of my faith. And love your family and cherish your time, because the world is so unpredictable today and we just don't know what's going to happen. And I hope that you guys just really consider what it is I'm saying, and please don't brush it off. Take time to consider what I'm saying. Even if you don't agree with me on everything, just take time to consider it. And I hope that you stay safe, and I hope that your family stays safe. I hope that you stay close to your loved ones. I hope that you possess the strength to do what is necessary and to keep moving forward in life. And I pray for nothing but good health and prosperity for you. So thank you for watching this video. I apologize if it was depressing compared to my previous videos, but a video like this had to be made, and we need truth now more than ever in this world. So thank you.